Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Mansi, Program Executive at YuvAadyantara. So today I welcome you all to the another session of our newly initiative Spotlight, where we give spotlight to the upcoming or young artists or poets. Or today we have Kanak and Karan with us. So we'll start with them. We'll talk about their work, their life, and their achievements too, and what they are going to do in future, and I mean what they are planning to do. So we'll start with them. So I'll start with Kanak. Kanak, can you tell something about you and what are your inspirations in life?
Hi, Mansi. Uh, about me, it's just that I'm a third year undergraduate student at DU pursuing BA English honors, and I have certain hobbies. Some of them include oration, painting, as you mentioned. A very budding hobby is writing in the form of essays or poems, because obviously literature, you be around those people all the time, so you get inspired. And what inspired me is my surroundings, the circumstances, sometimes the feelings, the emotions that I was feeling, and obviously the age. The coming of age is obviously inspirational, and it will teach you something in one way or the other. And maybe this is what I'm taking from it.
Thank you for your introduction. And we'll move on to Karan. May I ask you, can you tell something about you and what prompted you to do photography in
Uh,
life?
Thank you, Mansi. So my name is Karan, as Mansi has already mentioned. So I'm currently a master's student in history. So my journey in photography began some 6 years ago with nothing more than just a curiosity and a borrowed camera. So I still remember the weight of it in my hands. It felt like I was holding a new way of speaking, a language of light and uh, yes, it was awesome in a sense. So the first event I covered was a turning point. I was inexperienced and nervous, but when people saw the pictures and said they felt like reliving the moment, something clicked inside me, and I realized photography wasn't just about taking pictures. It was about preserving the emotions and freezing the time and creating a bridge between people and their memories. So, what began as a simple favor soon became a passion that shaped my identity. And over the years, I built my photography brand, Luminescence Vision, and have been fortunate to cover national and cultural events like FedEx Junior Achievement International Trade Challenge, the Indian Nationals, and various cultural events like Symphony at JDMC, Rhapsody at Maitri College, and with various renowned artists like Sonu Nigam, Mohit Chauhan, Randeep Huda, to name a few. These milestones have given me recognition, but more importantly, they have reminded me of where it all began with a single borrowed camera and the excitement of telling stories through my lens. So, in many ways, my journey reflects the very philosophy of Adhyantara, the power within myself, within oneself. So I didn't discover photography through formal training or a planned career path. It was something that grew within me, nurtured by curiosity and fueled by the joy of storytelling. So even today, every time I pick up my camera, I carry that same spark, the belief that art in its truest form begins with sincerity and an inner calling. So yeah, that was my journey till now.
Okay. Coming to you, Kanak, maybe know what prompted you to do painting and writing.
I think the pond grew as naturally as it could, because as a child, I began painting, and it's when, people around you start applauding you, or being a painter or a artist, you just naturally stand out of the crowd. So there is always this need for more applaud, the desire. And you don't even realize when it grew in me, that I wanted to take it far away with me. And it was not just a hobby for 2 to 3 days or something. So what prompted me was, as I said, the circumstances. As a kid, I used to draw and paint for leisure, for just like, passing my time. as I grew older, now I'm not having the time to just paint in leisure. I paint when I feel overwhelmed, when I don't know how to put it into words, into the other person sitting ahead of me. I paint or I write because that's the best that I could do. It's my way of expressing, and I think it's my way of coping. Many people listen to music, many people go for a walk, do exercises, gym. I think this is for me. And so, yeah, that is what prompted me.
Just you said कि you draw inspiration from your nature, from your surroundings. So, any other source of inspiration which inspire you to paint or write?
I had many friends who were pursuing art as a degree. So, in College of Arts, Fine Arts, and others, like even in dance and music, as they were. And when I saw them being passionate about something, or when they talked about it, they had that, gleam in their eye. Okay, that they're talking about something that they really love, and it shows. So I think you just get inspired. I got inspired being around them that I cannot be just an academic nerd all my life. I need to have a distinct achievement, despite not getting so much out of it. It's not like I'm going to pursue or make money out of it. That was never the thought. But just for my own sake, just for the satisfaction that, I'm not letting my talent go to waste for the feeling.
Okay, so your friends and the gleam they have inspires you. It's a good
Yes.
source of inspiration, no? Friends are inspiration. So coming to you, Karan, maybe know what inspires you to to click pictures.
So initially, I saw an Instagram handle of photographer. She's Arzu Khurana, if you might have heard her name. So she's a wildlife photographer. So I saw her photographs, the style she took, she follows, and in a way, she inspired me to get into the photography, to start photographing people and memories. And then I attended her workshop. So the day I attended it, I decided like, yes, this is something that I'm going to follow, I'm going to nurture for the rest of my life. And on a personal level, photography has shaped me into what I am today. It has taught me patience, it has taught me discipline and empathy. When I'm behind the lens, I'm not just observing, I'm listening. I'm listening to the emotions, to silence, and to movement. So it has made me more grounded, more attentive, and more grateful for the simple moments of life. So yes, uh, there's just some things that naturally inspires me for photography, the very essence of life in itself, for that matter. So yeah.
So can you share some of your personal favorite pictures you have clicked, the story behind them, what made you to click them?
So choosing a favorite photograph is always difficult for me because it each carries a story of its own. But if I had to pick one of my personal favorites, so there was just one event where the audience was completely immersed in a live performance. In that frame, the artist was singing. The artist was Mohitji. So he was singing with eyes closed, lost in the music, and while the crowd mirrored that energy, some cheering, some swaying, and some simply closing their eyes in silence, it was just a picture of an artist. It wasn't just a picture of an artist performing, it was a portrait of collective emotion for me. So when I clicked that shot, when what was going on in my mind was that about it was not about technique or perfection, it was about feeling the moment. I remember telling myself, like, if I can capture the emotion I'm experiencing right now, then this photograph will live far beyond this night. So, when I saw the image later, I realized that the camera had frozen not just an action, but a heartbeat for that matter. So, yeah, this is just one shot. And if we talk about another favorite shot, so it's about a street photograph that I took recently. So there are few children Uh, s- so they live on street. So the emotions that are being captured in the photograph shows the other side of the reality. So in our life, we usually see what kind of normal life we have. So we see the crowd, we see the joy and happiness, we see the rush in life. But on the other side, there's just silence, the hunger that the people feel. So that is being portrayed in the photographs. So that is another favorite for me.
Thank you for sharing your favorites. No, it's not easy to choose your favorite. So,
Exactly.
yeah. Coming back to you, Kanak, can you share some of your favorite paintings or your poems too?
I have to say, I agree 100% with Karan. Like, you cannot choose a favorite ever. But I think I would go with the most recent ones, because they portray your growth. So I would say I made this painting, and why I like this one is because it came out of the blue, like no reference, nothing. So there's this ballet dancer in the middle in a blue dress, and her hands are tied with a thin red line that's going upwards, both the hands, and it seems like the performer is performing on its own. And then there's a picture of a man, just a face, grinning in the back, and on the sides it's written in text free will in a question mark. So it's just to show that free will, like something like free will, doesn't exist. Even if I'm speaking right now and I feel like this is my tone and style of speaking, it's not. It's not my free will. I would have picked it from somewhere unconsciously, from some other speakers that I hear. So nothing like free will actually exists, and that was the main core of that painting. And other than that, there's this one portrait of a oil pastel painting that I made, which includes a girl standing on her washroom basin with her face blurred, but everything else is visible, clear. So that was when I made it. I was going through a hard time, and it reflected that very well. It's what I felt every time I looked at myself in the mirror, and so I felt the urge. And just as I completed it, I felt better. So that's one reason also of doing art. So these were the two.
So, Kanak, you are a writer too. You write poetry. So, can you recite one or two of your poetry for us?
I have only written two so far because, as I said, it's a very budding hobby. It's titled Don't Want Regrets. I'll tell you, your handwriting is beautiful. Your hugs, my warm refuge. That tiny doodle you sketched back in school still glows in the corner of my consciousness. I'll not shy away, but I will tell you. Will tell you right away at least once, for I don't want regrets. That breathes in silence to follow me into the dark. When I behold myself, my own self, finally, in the court, playing the judge, the convict, the lawyer, the defendant, the witness, only to serve justice. Justice for myself, that I have kept in the shadows for long, for I don't want regrets. And this is it. So, this is what I wrote when again I was feeling really overwhelmed. And, it's very recently that I realized that you need to give out to the world as much love as you receive. So, even if you meet one person in a day and you like even a smallest bit about themselves, just tell them. It could be anything, it could be their way of behaving, their way of talking with you. If it made you feel safe and comfortable, it's much needed out there.
Yeah.
Otherwise people feel unseen. People feel like, what's the point of being nice to others? So this is what I wrote, and I read it every time to remind myself that this is the kind of person that I strive to be.
So, I completely agree with you. Coming back to you, Karan, can you tell us which genre of photography you enjoy the most?
Talking about the genre again, just like the favorites. So I have explored various genres, be it portraits, the nature, the architecture, and even wildlife. But the genre that excites me the most is event photography. For me, events are like theaters, full of energy, unpredictability, and even emotions that cannot be rehearsed.
Hmm.
So no two moments are ever the same, and that is what makes this genre so fulfilling. So what I love about event photography is the raw authenticity it offers. A smile that bursts out in the middle of a performance, the anticipation of the crowd, a concert when a concert begins. So, and also the proud tears of a participant receiving recognition. So these moments are unplanned. We cannot like rehearse them. We cannot recreate them. That what makes it beautiful. That what makes event coverage beautiful. So one of the most memorable experience for me was covering symphony at JDMC, Janki Devi Memorial College. So the atmosphere shifted from calm anticipation to thunderous energy as the artist took the stage. So I remember moving through the crowd, trying to capture not just the performers, but also the audience, their eyes with excitement, their hands raised in the rhythm. That night reminded me that events are not just about the stage, but about the collective heartbeat of everyone present there. So, event photography also challenges me to be alert, adaptive, and yes, invisible at the same time. So, I have to merge into the background, yet stay fully present to anticipate the decisive moment. It is this balance between patience and spontaneity that makes the genre a true passion for me. In many ways, even photography also reflects my philosophy that life is made up of fleeting instants, and my role as a photographer is to honor them, to turn them into timeless memories that people will cherish after years and years. And when they look back to the time, they'll remember like that was the night, that was the day. So that is the genre I mostly cherish.
So it's a good thing, no, to capture emotions or raw emotions. Basically,
Yes.
you get to capture raw emotions. So, so do you remember the first ever photo which made you feel proud of yourself?
So it's also from Symphony, JDMC. So there were two girls. So I took a photograph of them in the event, and when they look back, when they looked at the photograph, they uh, just joyed. They said that this is the photograph, this is the moment that we were actually living at that time. So that's the moment that's I remember.
Coming back to you, Kanak, can we know, but are your views on this? I mean, what are your painting, the first ever painting, which made you proud of yourself that you have done something good?
So I feel like, I started also with wall painting
Hmm.
for a school nearby, for nursery kids. Painted these animals or cartoon creatures, which were very easy to, paint. And it seemed like they popped out of the wall. So as the kids saw it and how ecstatic they felt, I think that reaction melted me. They loved being in the classroom. I mean, when I remember when I was in LKG, I hated school. I despised that place. I didn't want to ever step in. But these kids, they came out, and when they giggled and laughed and they touched each and every painting like they wanted to be a part of it, in one. I think that reaction just said it all for me. That reaction just made it worthy to put in all the efforts and working in all the heat. I think if I ever get a chance, I'll do it again. And every time it's been asked of me, so that is when I felt really proud of myself as an artist, the reaction.
So, Kanak, we would like you to recite your another poem too. We all are eager to listen to you. Please recite it for us.
Of course, Mansi. I'm up for it. Okay, so my other poem is titled We See What We Seek.
Hmm.
हम वही देखते हैं जो हम चाहते हैं. And I wrote it a while ago. It's true. We see what we seek with a lingering want to possess. At times it's material, shoes, dress, bag, maybe charms, but at times it's bonds. For I see a single soul aching for love. It is there right in front of him, but maybe not his yet. A head hanging with sorrow, lurking for warmth, belongingness. The load of fate but creeps upon his shoulders, weighing, grounding him down. I stared into the hauntingly beautiful blank space, trying to fill the void in myself as the black figure reached out its long limb close enough to touch me. The phone rang, and her voice persists. It's hard to tell whether it's life or freedom that she seeks. But I see trees and birds and flowers and pests as I want to provide for the deprived lives merrily by existing. And so it's true. We see what we seek. So the idea behind writing this poem was, as I'm traveling and as I'm out, I see people usually looking at those things only that they desperately want in their, like if you really carry that zeal, the passion to be on stage, but you cannot, the stage anxiety, the stage fear holds you back. People usually look at those people who are, as people say, born for stage a
Hmm.
little longer.
Yeah.
You want a bag, you would look at it longer. So I think that is one observation that I came across, that we do look at the things that we are seeking in life.
Hmm.
And so I wrote this, that sometimes it's material, bag, dresses, that's all fine, but other times it's also bonds.
Hmm.
And that is why I only look at these naturally existing things, because they just make you feel good without you even asking them. It's just that they exist and we feel better. We have a tree in the house, we like to water it, that's all. No, no, it's a selfless bond,
Hmm.
and I want that in life. So that is why I wrote it.
Yeah, it's beautiful and it's beautifully capture your emotion. So, no, in our life we have that moment, especially when we are artists or we write or we are a photographer. There comes a moment in life which made us decide that now I want to do photography or I want to do painting. I want to continue my art. So, what was that
Hmm.
moment in your life which made you stick to your paintings or your writing?
I actually took a huge break from art when I like began with 11th standard. Like I shifted to a new school and it was getting much chaotic in life. So I
Hmm.
stopped, I put a halt on it. But later on, I realized that I cannot just, survive like this. And so that is why I made an art account, to at least keep pushing myself for the sake of posting, for the sake of engagement on the account. Uh, but I didn't realize actually when the bond grew so strong and deep, that now it's like I depend on it. Even my account bio says the last strand to my sanity, and I really mean it, because otherwise I don't know what would happen to me. If I lose it, it's the only thing that I feel like where I can express. For writing, it's much different. When I come across observation or it's a philosophical thought, I move towards writing, because it's in writing you have to be cohesive. You have to follow a structure. There is much bondage. Even while expressing yourself, you would feel like you're writing it for somebody else.
Hmm.
But for painting, I believe that there is never a bad painting. Even a kid can draw, anything, a tree, and an adult Bob Marley can draw a tree, and it would just be aesthetic for me. So that was the relation, nothing really forced, but it just came out natural and selflessly
Hmm.
inbuilt.
So you are no, I agree with you. Our art keep us sane. Otherwise, we'll all be insane if we don't write or we don't click pictures or we don't paint. So thanks for your answer. Coming back to you, Karan, I also want to know what are your views on this? What was that moment for you?
So I think I have already talked about that moment in my life when I realized that photography is the thing that I will be continuing for the
Hmm.
rest of my life, for that matter. Not maybe not as a passion, maybe not as a profession,
Hmm.
but something that will be a part of my life forever. Be it a traveling thing, be it anything. So I uh, I talked about how I started clicking anything under the sun. I still do that. So apart from even photography, I still capture everything, be it life, be it nature, be it wildlife. So, but yeah, the moment that made me realize the importance of photography in life, the importance of photography in everybody's life, be it anyone, any artist, any ordinary man, because uh, at the end, no one is ordinary after all. So it is the event photography, and I have already talked about it. Like when people cherish the photograph that I capture, that is the moment that makes me realize, that help me to think that yeah, I'll be continuing with photography, and yes, my work is worth doing. So I still find joy in after looking people putting their profile, putting the picture that I clicked as their profile picture. So yeah, that helps me a lot. That motivates me to continue with photography. So yeah.
So you are happy in people's joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get through your photography. So does your photography make you like famous among your peers, na? You're
um
something else.
so talking about being famous, yeah. So if somebody gets to know that yeah, this person clicks photograph, so
Yeah,
the first thing they ask is, can you click one for me?
yeah,
So that's the thing that I usually get to hear from people, be it my friends, be it my relatives for that matter. Even some people ask me to capture their wedding now. So
yeah.
I'm so I'm not a wedding photographer as of now. But yeah, I get calls about event coverage. I get calls about political shoots, and some people ask me for their portraits or the Instagram reels. So yeah, apart from photography, I'm also an editor.
Mm.
So I edit both photographs and yeah, the videos, and I do it professionally. So, uh, yeah, that's the side business I do, and that's also the side hobby of mine. So I'm into graphics, I'm into editing, I'm into capturing the moments. But as the most important thing is not being famous or getting recognized by people. It's the joy that I get after doing these things. So photographing people, photographing moments is something that I love.
Mm.
So whether I get recognition, whether I don't, doesn't matter to me. Of course, I do get recognition, but yeah, the only thing that matters at the end is the love that I get from doing photography or editing for that matter. So yeah.
Kanak, may I know your view on this?
Similarity of the same kind that you talked about. Just to ask for one portrait, if possible, one sketch, it will be all, fine. We'll remain friends forever. But, it doesn't work like that. It's not like I have a problem or anything, I'm being egoistic or anything. No. At first, I don't consider myself a portrait artist. So I don't think it would be fair for me to, even waste their time and mine in saying that, okay, I'll do it for you. So why not go seek a better person, better artist who actually does it and
Hmm.
le- better than me making the market diluted for no reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has always, but the popularity thing has been there since the school time. If you're good at art, everyone just calls you for even the teachers. You're the most preferred one. Automatically, your name pops
Mm.
up. Or if students want diagrams done in their books, obviously they'll reach out to you, and you'll be the most wanted person for at least a span of a week. So yes, I do enjoy the attention that came with it, but now it's not like that. In childhood, yes,
So do you think you would want to make a career out of your painting or your writing?
definitely. If I get the platform, which is actually enriching and doesn't bind the artist,
Hmm.
I would love to. It's mostly about the organizations, that's one bit of, even for writing, there could be certain restrictions put on you. You write what's been asked of you, not
Hmm.
like in as in job requirements. Obviously, you'll do what the job requires, but in other ways also, as I said, free will is a matter of, is a matter. So I think if I get a chance, if I get a proper chance to actually display my talent, I would love to. And I would love to take it up professionally. I even wanted to go for the fine arts degree, but I just couldn't uh, for the circumstances, CUET and other things. Just, it was a lot of mess. But yes, even it's never late. So obviously,
So, same question for you, Karan. What are your views on this? Do you want photography as a profession?
Uh, it's a yes and a no at the same time. So, of course, I would love to pursue photography as my profession. But as Kanak also pointed out, there are industries that put restrictions on photography as well. So, like the genres, so you can do just the event photography for that matter, or you could just do the product photography or fashion photography for that matter. So, photography is something that should not be restricted, right?
Hmm.
Same for the other art, like the painting or singing or dancing for that matter. But I would definitely love to take photography as my professional career. But yeah, considering the generational gap and considering um, the family for that matter, so I need to secure a 9 to 5 first.
Yeah.
then, then yeah, when after settling for a quite uh, good time, I would definitely look to it.
But ask you one more thing. What you want people to remember you for? कि वो याद रखें.
Of course, not the photography.
Okay.
So, so I need people to remember me for the person I am, the character I have, the nature I have. So I help people a lot. So be it my peers, be it my seniors or juniors for that matter, I help people a lot from the very beginning of my schooling. I'm not not necessarily the very beginning of schooling, the late years of my schooling and the early years of my college. So yeah, the character that I have built in years is something that I have been passed on from my parents. So I'm really thankful for that. The beatings or the manners that they gave me. But yeah, that is something that I wish people would remember me for, the person I am, not just the photography or the anything for that matter. So yeah,
So you want people to remember who you are, not
yeah.
not your profession or your photography or your skills.
Of
Okay.
course, I would love that people remember me for my skills, but before that, they should know the person I am. So, in history, when we talk about, so let's move you back to history.
Yeah.
So, in history writing, when we talk about any event, so there's the concept of historiography. So, historiography is something that an author or history writer analyzes the past event and then writes about it. So that is historiography.
Hmm.
So there is this famous person, E.H. Carr, a famous historian. So he write about something, the concept of analyzing the character, analyzing the background of the author first. So it's the background of the author that shapes his ideology, that shaped his ideas. So when we are looking into certain events like French Revolution for that matter, so the author has some certain ideas in his mind, in her mind. That's something that drivens his writing, her writing. So that's of course. Uh, so people should not just me, for everyone. So people should know the person first, then the work they did. Right? For Gandhi, for Ambedkar, anyone, we should know the person first, who they were, how they lived, and then we should look at the work they did in their life. So yeah, that's something important.
Yeah, being a literature student, na, I can relate to it very well. We were also taught to understand the poet first, then you'll able to understand his writings.
Yes.
Agree with you. Coming back to you, Kanak. I'll ask the same question to you. So, how do you want people to
Um,
remember?
Ma yeah, Mansi, as you said, you are also a literature student, me too. And we had this poem in the second year by Sherman Alexie Jr. It was a really good poem. And when I read it, I felt like, oh, it suits the contemporary era so well. And I was actually moved by the poem. And later, the teacher went on to ask that, do you know anything about the poet? And we all said no, because it's a really contemporary poet. And then he said that he has actually sexual assault charges against him. And that made me immediately drop the interest in that poet. So I think it's very true, to know the author. The subjectivity really, can make or break. It's a make or
Yeah.
break moment between the two. And yeah, knowing the author is really important. I feel. Otherwise, apart from that, did you also ask me what people would like to remember me for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to, answer the same that for how I am. As for the peers, I'm like the person who you wouldn't see much at parties or at their events, but I'll always be there when they actually need me, even if we meet like once in a month. It just comes out naturally. I think as we grow up, it's a part of growing up that you don't always have time to spare in uh, most of the activities, but you have to be there for the friend. And I think I would love it if people actually remember me for it. But then this thought strikes me as I was, listening to a philosopher, an Indian philosopher, a few days back, that even in death, I am asking for recognition. This mangne wala thing would never go away. So I don't know what to expect. People just remember me for my behavior with them. You know,
So,
that's all.
Risma, I agree with you. And I just want to ask you, what advice would you like to give your younger generation who wants to pursue art? Like, will you encourage them or you'll guide them? So,
Um, as I began initially, and the problem that I faced of not getting much recognition on social media, do not care about it. You could be receiving just 2 likes, and it doesn't, you don't have to belittle yourself based on the number of likes you get. And as I said, every painting is a good painting. There is nothing like a bad painting or a bad writing. So just do not caring about the output. Obviously, there could be constructive criticism from people's side, but only take what resonates with you and leave the rest, and not let it get into your head, or just be with it, and they would soon realize that why art is important to them. Humans were made to do art, and I think they would soon realize it as they continue with it. They can't just stop. Even if they stop and they'll recontinue with it, they will again realize that that pause would mean something.
yeah,
That pause will carry the weight.
yeah. No, I agree with you, Ki we should not care for what other think about art. Even we have one audience, we should do it for ourselves, for them. So I agree with you completely. So, Karan, coming back to you. So, what you want to tell your younger generation, or what advice you want to give to those who wants to pursue photography or their art?
Yeah, so it's really nice, like how Kanak pointed out that people must follow their art, and it's not the recognition that they must follow. They should start first, right? So, to every younger photographer or to any aspiring artist for that matter, my message is simple. So, trust your journey and trust the power within yourself. So, when I began, uh, I don't have any experience. So I had no expensive gear, no professional training, and no roadmap. So all I had was curiosity, a borrowed camera, and the willingness to see the world differently. So that small beginning taught me that art does not demand perfection. It only asks for sincerity.
Yeah,
Just follow the path, right? So photography, like any art form, is not just about skill or equipment. It also about patience, observation, and the courage to tell stories, to tell people that how you feel. what's the way that you look at the things. So there will always be comparisons, as Kanak also pointed out. So comparisons, doubts, and challenges, but your artistic voice is unique. People are different, they have different perspectives, right? The moment you stop trying to replicate others and start listening to what makes you is the moment when your true journey begins, right? So I would also encourage young artists to see art as more than a career option, right? Nowadays people usually see, like, I'll do painting and I'll sell it for this and this amount. I'll do photography and I'll join the gallery of some renowned artist or something like that. So it's not just a career option, right? It's a way of living. It teaches discipline, empathy, and resilience. So failure will come, but each one will have to sharpen your perspective, right? So
Yeah.
wins will come too, but the real reward is when somebody looks at your work and feels something genuine. Like I've also mentioned, the people sees your photograph and they're like, yeah, that's the moment we lived. That's the moment you captured, right? So most importantly, remember that your voice matters. Just like light finds its way through darkness, your creativity has the power to illuminate not only your path, but also to inspire others. So keep experimenting, keep learning, and keep creating, even when no one is seeing, right? No one is watching. Just keep trying. So there's very good quote. If you don't try it, you will not get to know. You will never get to know, right? So you
Yeah.
have to try that, because in the end, art is not about recognition, it's about expression. You'll have to try, you have to express, and that's the only way you'll own your skills. And if you can stay true to that, your work will always carry its own light.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your insightful thoughts. It was pleasure meeting you and talking to you. I got a lot of new ideas, new way to look life in a new, different angle. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's meet on the another session of Spotlight. Thank you so much for today. Thanks for watching.